And pull it out. And the same thing on the conveyor.
Plug and air for piling will be disconnected after the power is off.
You pull this pin. Yep, I see it. It's an alignment pin.
Yep.
There's
Actually,
one in
can
here.
you? This one is for this. Can I?
Yep, it's broken.
Yeah.
It went right here, I think, one of the two.
Because this one is. Yeah, this is the one.
Well, yeah, it would go in one of the two. But you have alignment pins here and here,
Mm-hmm.
so I think you'll be all right.
Okay, I will set it up later, or we have to do it now.
No, it's fine.
Just let's put
Slide
it
that
here.
back in out of the way. And we can roll this one back. Push that cart and the tray in. Maybe you don't have to. Now we got it. Alright, so now the motor unplugged, we turn the power back on.
Okay.
We gotta let it boot up.
So what we are doing right now is piling without taking out the
Stripping.
matrix or stripping.
Well, yeah, without stripping, you're just gonna pile it. So once it quits flashing, let it quit flashing. Now hit the reset. It's thinking about it. Okay, now turn your software button on and go to your pile. The die change one. There you go. Nope, that one. Yep. And then just lower this all the way down.
Sorry, lower this all the way down.
Yep. Just hold it till it stops. It'll go to the floor and stop moving. Okay. And then on either side is a release handle. You hear that?
Yeah.
So you got to push down and start it out, and then you can wheel it on out. So this is that release handle I was
Yes. you were
pushing
sure.
on one on each side to get it out.
Sure. And we do have another one of these over the rack that we can place instead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, just an empty trolley. Make sure the wheels are unlocked when you put it in.
This side, always this way.
Close these. Go ahead and raise it up. Don't raise it all the way up, but just till it's most of the way up.
Are we gonna change the setting that way it goes down by
That's
guy?
The setting that it goes down.
Yeah, like because all the paper is gonna accumulate on top of each other.
Right.
This needs to go down, otherwise.
It has an eye.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yep,
has an.
Yep. All right. So when you bring it up, you just want to make sure this fits in here. 'Cause you can get that thing too far forward
I
or
see.
too far backward. You just want it centered. Make sure it's in there, and then you want to make sure that you stop it before it gets to this unit. So I usually just raise it to the bottom of these, and then you've got your back jogger, and it slides in here. That should hang down. So you pull this lever out,
That lever.
and you can push that in. You can see it turning in my hand.
Yep.
So if you just kind of push out on it and let it spin, you can just push this in. And then when it releases, now it's locked. And then the machine cycles it. That's what you were asking about
Oh,
earlier. So
okay.
that jogger will come out of the way, the sheet will drop, it'll jog it and get out of the way. Okay. And this one goes in the back here. So if you set this bearing on the rail here, and then you set these up where they fit in these little slots. There's one here and one here that it just sits
Yep.
in. So now it's resting here and mounted here. And then you release it, you can move it back and forth.
Based
I
on the
use
size of
Of
the.
the sheet, right. And I'll move it back a little bit because this is a big sheet. And then we'll bring this one out just a little bit. So then we can bring it up and everything's on the board.
I
Okay.
see. We will bring it up so everything is on board. That
Right.
one
Yep.
is get moved with this.
Yep.
This one will, when we unlock it, it
Move
can
the
be
back.
moved to the back.
And this one is manual.
That one is manual. And this one up and
Pull
down.
out.
Mhm.
you go.
Okay. When we pull it up
Oh.
and down, that will move. Okay. We try to start the way that everything touches the
The board. Right.
board.
Yep. That way you
Okay.
can adjust it. If it's
Mhm.
off the board will go too high and you can't adjust it. So just
Yep.
make sure everything's on there. And then you've got this handle. Adjust this sensor right here. See it moving?
Yeah.
That one. So that
It will be
reads.
adjusted with this.
Yep, it reads across, so you can make it to where, very few sheets pile before it drops, or you can lower it so it drops and then
Ev-
falls further.
Yeah.
Kind of control how far the sheet falls, depending on what you're running. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't. So that sheet was $750, basically.
I believe so. 29 and a half.
750. Yeah, 750. So, yeah, this is an inch. The only thing in inches, about 29 and a half. So if I come here and I set it just a little bigger than 29 and a half. And then if you jog it, you'll watch these come in. When they come all the way in, you stop it, and then you can set the width. It has a measurement on it too, but I think it's
Okay.
easier just to,
We jog, then we will move this. That way it will adjust the side.
and I'll make it buckle and just come off of it a little bit. That way it kind
Yeah,
of jogs.
it will keep pressing the papers to become like.
Right. And then sometimes I'll leave an uncut sheet on the bottom so that when you pile them, when you go to take it off the skid, because most people strip it on the trolley, but if you need to get everything off the trolley and it's a small job, if it's a big job, you're not going to do it. But if it's just a small job, you can kind of get it off of there without everything falling apart. It's, again, it has to be just a few sheets, which is what we're going to run. So now we got to turn our pressure back on because we turned it off.
Correct.
It reverted
We-
back.
We put 0,
The one above that one. Yep.
0, enter,
And acknowledge it.
and
Yeah, you turn that on, and now go to 0.23.
okay, clear.
Yep, and acknowledge it. So now we're good there. Leave that on. Nope. That's manual. That's only when we're seating the die.
Yes.
Okay. So go back home. Start it up.
Should we change the?
Only once it's running. It won't change until it's running. Now you can speed it up.
Speed up.
Oh,
That button, yep. Now
Okay.
get air and just speed 1. We'll see how it falls in there. And I would say we probably want this sensor fairly high.
okay. Control early sheet
Early
detection.
sheet. Alright, so we got there a little early. We changed suckers, so we're gonna have to redo the feeder a little bit. Did it pull it out of the fingers or is it alright?
No, it looks like it's okay.
Okay, now we'll try it again. This got some upthrow to it the last match. We'll try it again. Hit that again. Now get your speed. Missing sheet because we pulled it. So buzzer, start it. Now speed, now air, and now feed the sheet.
Early sheet detection.
Early sheet.
It was there early. Let's try it again.
Did it look all right?
Look fine. Try it again. I'll give it a little more.
Missing sheet. So it says that because the sheet got there and then you pulled it out. It sensed the sheet, but it didn't see one go through. It's part of its process. Tilted too far back, I think. Tilted it up. So maybe down a little bit more.
Try that.
Maybe the forwarding sucker got it instead of the.
Early sheet detection.
Well, whatever happened.
Um,
It's coming out right. I'm not sure what's causing that.
It seemed like it hit the head stop so
It
good.
did. But it like.
Let me look at something here.
Sure.
So,
3.7. They are all seems like
well, they're not reading the mirrors.
why not? Why they are not reading the mirror?
Because they're back. The head stop has to come forward. See how the head stop's out of the
Yeah.
way? So we got to jog it forward.
Oh,
There. You're all reading all right. My light should not be on.
Yeah, why
What?
is the camera on solid? The camera shouldn't be. The flash shouldn't be on.
Nope.
I don't know what that is. That should only be on when you're doing continuous.
Yeah, it should flash. It shouldn't be on.
Play with the camera.
Yeah, I did.
Freaking will.
So it's
Tell them we're on camera.
that's your auto register is homed. Very strange, but I see I don't even have an NJ. So I thought maybe something communication wise is off.
Can we check the counts for the sheets? The error that we had before, when to stop, did it change anything?
The count for the sheet.
In to stop at the point? No.
Yeah, no, we don't have that on. That's off.
That camera should not be calling for a flashlight.
And we synced it? Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on side lay for a minute.
The only thing I can think of is the only time I get weird stuff like this, like when you turn the power off, turn it back on, if I don't do that first initial, like this one, or two, like
This should be
I had that.
do that first
Always do this.
camera setup.
Well, no.
Oh, use this controller, not
To
that
turn
one.
everything back on, because that's when I get into the weird stuff. And you did when it powered back up, you did everything there. So it might, I don't know. I'm not saying that's it. That's the only time I've seen it do weird stuff.
Maybe. Everything else looks good.
I always try to do first ons and resets here.
Let's try something. Just for the heck of it. So we're there. Go into the camera, we'll turn the light on, we'll take a picture. Says it's okay.
1.38.
Move it around, see if it follows.
Yep.
Okay, camera's good. Camera didn't go off. I'd say we're gonna have to reboot it. I just figured maybe,
We have to
Taking that
restart
picture
the
is-
machine.
It might
figure-
reset it.
yep. We might need to leave it off. Well, my man was off playing on it, we had unplugged it again.
Yeah, but the only thing,
Sometimes if you shut it off and reboot it too fast, everything doesn't reset. But
and only time I've really had weird stuff after if I don't do
Use
the
that
first
main?
initial
Really?
main, and
On the main screen instead,
The
we
main
did it
front?
here.
that's the only time I've ever seen it do weird stuff like this. I've
never
never seen it do that, but it does
Yeah.
weird stuff.
I don't think I've seen that before. First time for everything.
I can't explain it.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever seen the camera light just stay on before.
I haven't seen that either.
It's,
That's odd.
if all else fails, reboot it. Okay, now hit your reset. Yep. Give it a minute. Okay. Now we'll have to reset our pressure. Turn the automatic pressure on. Okay, now let's go and see if it'll feed a sheet.
Oh, we don't need to link it?
Nope. Get your speed up. There we go. It automatically links unless there's an error. Now feed one. Okay, that looks fine. Now the only problem is now you got these. So when your next sheet falls, it may want to catch these. We'll see. If it doesn't, that's fine, because it's going to be here. but it
Typically, it's
falls like this.
what I have found that if your cutout on the back side
It's within the first
is less than an inch, it can cause you to hang up. So the only thing that probably would be the flat back there.
Right.
That might cause it to do a little weird jog.
So
But it's an inch is kind of the sweet spot. If it's inside that, you probably won't have a problem. If it's outside that, it can give you delivery issues.
okay. So I don't think you're going to need it today, but you do have this option. So, and maybe I'll show you first. When the sheet comes in, the gripper's got it. The sheet falls this way, and then the gripper lets go and it settles that way. If it catches here, you can put these arms in, I'll show you in a minute, and set this here. So then the sheet kind of hangs. When the gripper lets go, it falls. This gets out of the way, and then it falls that way. So you can have gripper side fall first or non-gripper.
Yeah.
So right now,
To change the way that
non-gripper
it
will.
falls.
Right.
At the
That's what
left or
this
right.
is for. And I'll put it in. Just so you see, I think actually you're probably right. And then you do have some air. So you can hear the air. So you've got little fingers. You got one here, one here, and one down here. So it's blowing air across there to help that sheet float down. Your controls are on this side.
Okay.
And then your overall control is here. I don't know, some people use it to turn them all. I like to turn this all the way up and then just use these to control it. Just like this one. I don't want a whole lot. That one. And that one. Because depends on your sheet. Sometimes you want a lot of air, but on this sheet you don't. It's going to blow the box out of your sheet. You know what I mean? You just want a little cushion of air so it falls better. So the other thing I like to watch, and don't get in the curtain, but you want the sheet to kind of just graze this when it comes forward. And that's all right. You're about that far away from hitting it.
Oh,
See?
now we can install the second one and see if it helps out the way that it falls, correct?
Yeah, part of it is the box is falling out before the shell drops, is really what's going on.
Separating from,
Yeah.
yeah.
So at that point, maybe you have to nick it.
Or maybe we decrease the pressure a little bit, or we don't.
Yeah, you could, but you got to make sure that it cuts, if that's what you're going to do. But we did turn it up so it would strip smoother. Let's clear here. Go back to 0.2. It's the top one, because you're going less pressure.
Okay.
Okay, now just run one, and we'll check it and make sure the handles and everything comes out good. That one was already in it.
Okay. Then,
So because I had sheets in, remember how we talked about clearing the front?
yes, you are
When the
right.
SBU's not in, I'm not as worried about it because it's not going to jam on me. It's just going to spit them out. So if you start it and unlink it, turn the link off so you can get your speed. And make sure the air's on, and then re-link it. because you're gonna have to hand strip them. You want them to come out fairly easy.
Which comes easy as well. You may need to go lower even. Or you wouldn't
I
advise.
think what's happening is the sheep's coming and catching here. It's hitting right here. So there's a couple things we can try, but what I would do first is
Decrease the air.
turn this air up.
بکنه آلردی زیاد کرد اینا رو کمش کرد
The box is already falling out. So if you can get it to where it floats down instead of diving down, you might be able to get it. If not, then we'll put our bar in, see what it Give it a little more.
By increasing the air,
Yeah, it gives just a little float. Instead of it just diving straight down and catching, it kind of floats in there a little bit. It gives it a little air cushion. So see how now
Yeah.
that corner's not diving straight down when it comes out. The air makes it float just a little bit.
should we increase the speed or that's enough?
No, I turned the pressure up just a little bit back to where we were because the pressure wasn't necessarily the issue. That way you don't have any trouble getting anything out. You don't have any hangers. So we were at 167. I'm just gonna let some run. That way he's got plenty. I can either use them or not.
Can you increase the speed more?
Yeah, you can. But the faster you go, the more likely you're going to have an issue. Something like this, you'll probably be all right. And then you can also add nicks to hold it. You know what I'm talking about as far as nicking the blade.
Okay, yeah.
But it will put a place on your box, right?
True.
So you'd want to put it like on the top flap and then the bottom glue areas. So it's hidden. Because it's just going to be a little pick of paper that's not cut.
Yeah. یعنی دای رو یه بعضی وقتایی میبینیم که اصلا خیلی دای راحت جدا میشه دای رو خراب کنیم یه نقطه از دای رو فشار بدیم جایی که قایم میشه زیر چیز متریال
20 or 30.
به پاییم دستمون رو دیگه نکنیم اون تو.
So then, if you do need this,
Let's try it, yeah, to see
just
how
so you can
does it
see
look.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. So you've got the ends with the holes go out. These ends go in. These have to come out before you put the SBU back in. The SBU will hit it and bend them and bend the SBU. They have to be out if you're going to put the SBU. So there's a little turn knob here. Just loosen it so they'll go in. And then it'll lock on them. Okay. And then this will set here. You want the ramp this way. Okay. And then I'll take and jog it. Till it's all the way back. See, there it's out. Now it's back. so that I know I want it to be far enough back that the sheet will fall off of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you have it too far out, the sheet will never fall off of this edge. It'll just hang there and then the next sheet will hit it. So when it comes back, you need to be back far enough it can fall off. And you can angle it any way you want. You just want it just the front, just the back, however you want. We'll turn it down for a minute till we see what happens here. And maybe we got to turn our air down now that we've changed our setup. Yeah. But you should notice it. The gripper hits before the feeder kind of falls in there, right? So now my air is going to cause me some problems. So let's
So ridiculous.
turn these down. Not all the way off, just down a little bit. I usually feed 3 or 4, see how it's going to act. If I'm happy with it, just start running. But you'll notice now it's going to start knocking the box out of the shell. And if it hangs up too much, it's going to shut off and say delivery pile error. Okay, so
We have to increase more air again.
yeah,
What's
I would
happened
just
there?
not use this. For this particularly, it's not really what you want.
Good question. What is the purpose of stacking the sheet with the mattress?
Sorry?
What is the purpose of stacking the sheets with its mattress? With the
Oh, instead of stripping it, because we can't get it to pile. So if you can't get it to
strip
stack
nicely.
on the pile, then you can run it here and you just hand strip them,
Oh,
and they're already in a pile. And we'll strip some so you can see. This is something, it's part of the machine, you need to see how to do it. So if you ever need to run it to pile, you can. There's some stuff that you're not going to run through the stripping unit. It's the nature of the machine. And this is, to me, this is one of them. You can fight it all you want. More than likely, this is going to be your best bet, I would say. If you want to spend time and play with it, maybe you make it better and you're happy with it, but
Typically, the larger, the
Longer
final die
pieces.
cut piece, the more often you'll do this. The smaller stuff, you'll definitely go through there. But the big stuff, you'll find
it's
better
easier.
results going in here. And it
you got a few more, and I guess we'll just run them out.
kind of sucks because then you got to hand strap it, but it's going to run more efficient here for sure.
Oh, my air's off. Turn the speed up a little bit. We'll see how it does. So that's 3,500. Probably about as fast as I'd go with that one. Or they're going to start falling out. Unless you want to nick it. That's the other thing. That's not bad. And then when you're done, it's only going to make a pile as high as will fit out of here. So it will stop at one point and say delivery height. That means you got as much as will come out of here. And then you got to pull it out, put your trolley in, whatever. I like to just do a few at a time.
بچه مجید رسول much better اینجوری که استریپ میکنه
So to me, that's probably
more efficient than
faster than what you're trying to do there. So it's just, you know,
Or you
just
wanna
get
do
enough that you can strip them out, and you usually want to hold any of the places that have points a little more so than the rest.
About a half inch typically about the sweet spot.
And then it should just peel out for that side pretty good.
صاف نیست آخه صاف نباشه نمیتونه نه با امیر حسین perfect
So on this die, remember they had the stripping rule that wasn't there, but the line is there. So if you added that, then it would strip here, and you could peel this side and that side separate.
oh okay
See what I'm saying? So that may be something, I don't know, I didn't see it with the die, but usually they send the rule with the die. So if you want to add it, you just put it in and tap it in.
actually I saw some place for it but there weren't any place
Right, you
for
need
it.
the knife.
Yeah.
So it may be something you got to get a hold of Milwaukee and tell them to send you those rules. You know, you'd have to cut the one end down a little bit, but as long as it ran past the end of the sheet, you'd be fine. But I would say,
اینجوری خوبه
I would say that's how this job will go.
oh,
that
that's
is
much
so
faster
yeah.
than
Yeah. Well, and
Doing
you're not damaging them
adjustment.
and curling them and everything else.
because it's much more time consuming to pile up at the end when
Yeah.
we are using that machine unless it's
For a
small
small
as you
size.
said.
Yep.
Like that machine is about the same.
Yeah, if this was half the size of what it is, you go in there all day long. Half the size. Even possibly 2/3. Yeah, you put it on different stock, it's a little more rigid, it might. You just don't know.
It's even easier to take out the cutouts that way.
Can we move the paper on the machine?
Can you move the paper
Move
on
paper on the machine?
Not
For
anymore
example-
where it is right now. It's that far out. It's
You
just
mean it
wide.
has a
Talking about to
gripper
make the
at
cut
end.
correct?
What do you mean by منظور چیه و این چی move کنه؟
For example, for this die cut, move over there.
نه وقتی دایکات زد دیروز برای چی بود
آره،
مشکل
دیدم.
نمیتونستیم دیگه گریپر because of the gripper over here it's half mil
10 millimeter, 2
Two.
10 millimeter it's mixed three. We cannot have anything by then.
Well, but the problem is they made the die too far away from the gripper. The rule of the die actually needs to go towards the gripper,
Yep.
or the print away from the gripper, one of the two. The print and the die don't match, basically.
Yeah, remember you got a solid die cut
Yeah,
sheet.
there's one
Yeah.
sheet on the bottom that
Yeah. Seems like yeah.